U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Jessica D. Aber, was found dead in her Alexandria home on Saturday morning. Aber left her post in January after Donald Trump became president. The lawyer had been appointed U.S. Attorney in Virginia in 2021 by then-President Joseph Biden to handle cases involving terrorism, violent gang crime, and leaks of classified documents. Authorities said the former prosecutor's death may have been caused by a long-standing medical problem. Autopsy results are still pending. This Tuesday, the international network monitoring service NetBlocks reported a massive internet outage affecting the entire country of Syria. In a message published on the X social network, the monitoring platform pointed out that real-time network data showed the interruption of the service at a national level, affecting telecommunications in several cities of the country. This digital blackout comes in the midst of fresh airstrikes by the Israeli army. NetBlocks has confirmed the scale of the outage, although no details have yet been provided as to its cause. This contingency adds to the tensions and the intense information blockade maintained by the de facto government, which is led by former members of the Al-Qaeda terrorist group.
This March 25th, the Venezuelan people are mobilizing in Caracas in support of Venezuelan migrants who have suffered mistreatment, especially those kidnapped in El Salvador. This march, called by the Secretary General of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, Diosdado Cabello, seeks to reject justification for violent acts against Venezuelans and to express solidarity with the migrants. The mobilization also responds to the application of the Public Enemy Act by Donald Trump's administration, which has generated repudiation in Venezuela. Recently, 199 Venezuelan nationals returned to Venezuela from Honduras after being deported from the United States, which has been seen as a success of the return to the homeland plan. And Brazil's Supreme Federal Court opened session to decide on the indictment of former President Jair Bolsonaro and 7 others implicated in the January 8, 2023 coup d'etat against institutional headquarters. The magistrates of the first chamber of the Brazilian court analyzed the indictment against Bolsonaro and those implicated, which includes affiliation to a criminal organization, attempted coup d'etat, and abolition of the democratic rule of law. Sentences add up to 43 years in prison. The evidence includes telegram messages in which Bolsonaro instructed supporters and military personnel to reject the elections, as well as documents linking his close circle to plans to declare a state of emergency. The magistrates will also decide on the members of the so-called crucial group, which, according to the prosecution, includes 6 military personnel and a police officer who were ministers or high-ranking members of the armed forces. Argentina's Customs Staff Union, SUPARA, started a 48-hour strike to demand labor improvements. The strike began with a total blackout of the computers in the offices, a measure that will continue until Wednesday, March 26. The Commission added that the protest is being carried out after the government's failure to listen to workers who seek salary adjustments and the solution of problems affecting the sector. They also warned that if there are no answers to their demands from the government, they will extend the strike until the demands are met. Meanwhile, in El Salvador, trade union organizations mobilized in solidarity with the families of kidnapped Venezuelans, condemning President Nayib Bukele's actions. Salvadoran political and social groups and popular collectives rejected the U.S. government's criminalization of the 238 kidnapped Venezuelan migrants. Union leaders denounced that President Bukele kidnapped the Venezuelan migrants in exchange for financial retribution from the U.S. administration. In turn, the unions denounced that the Center for the Confinement of Terrorists, CECOT, is in fact a center for the confinement, torture, and murder of detainees. And the people of Honduras also expressed solidarity with Venezuela after the criminalization and illegal imprisonment of its migrants. A group of people gathered in Tegucigalpa expressed all their support for the kidnapped Venezuelans in El Salvador who are being criminalized by the United States. Representatives of various social movements attended the meeting with banners in which they denounced that migrating is not a crime and that those in prison have not committed any crime. The Venezuelan ambassador in Honduras, Margaud Godoy, accompanied the demonstration and thanked the support of the Hondurans.
Today, March 25th, a worldwide day of condemnation and denunciation has been promoted, but above all in solidarity with the Venezuelan people and government, Venezuelan migrants and Honduras could not be left behind. I want to recognize that history and that shared struggle, that resistance and that victory that today has allowed us to embrace again. And thank you for the solidarity that you have expressed today. The call has been made by the Anti-Fascist International Honduras chapter, but the Honduras-Venezuela Friendship Association and different organizations and souls, hearts that in the peoples of the world are attentive to what is happening have joined us.
So you understand and you see how coyotes work. The criminal gangs of coyotes from Venezuela, they were being led by Carlos Vecchio in the States. Carlos Paparoni, you can write them down. Carlos Vecchio, Carlos Paparoni, Miguel Pizarro, David Smolansky, cream of the cream from the fascists. Also Leopoldo Lopez. Maria Corina Machado from here, from Venezuela. Julio Borges, among others. So they coordinated everything and they had a lot of power in the United States because all of a sudden, a man, Pedro, from a neighborhood in Petare, would pay, he would sell his motorcycle, his home, and he will pay all that money, and they will take him from Petare through Darien, and in 5 weeks he was in New York. Is that even possible without complicity from powers in the United States?
The former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Jessica D. Aber, was found dead in her Alexandria home on Saturday